hear most Nigerians lose money to property buying, not because they are careless, but because they do not look out for the right things that needs to be looked on, or they also trusted the wrong people. They as well ignored some certain signs. These reasons are also valid, but the most painful part of it is that it can be avoided. And that's the essence of our episode today. We are going to be looking at 5 costly mistakes most people made before making their property purchase. Welcome to the Firstlady Show. This is a platform where we share conversations on real estate and also on investment, wealth building, mindset, and the future of living in Nigeria and beyond. This is where conversations meet insights and real estate meets purpose. On today's episode, we will be talking on 5 costly mistakes people make before making their property purchase. My name is Shania Item Dixon. I'm also known as the First Lady of Properties. I am your host on today's episode. So come with me on mistake number 1 people make while making their property purchase. Number 1 is buying emotionally instead of buying it strategically. In my years of doing real estate, I've observed that most people end up buying property out of emotion because of excitement. And these are very correct. But beyond excitement, you need to do some certain investigation before making your money work for you in real estate. It is okay for you to buy based on what you see online. We hear things like 5 minutes drive to the airport, 20 minutes drive to school, or you see some nice adverts there on social media. You have some trusted relatives that also recommend this property to you, as well as real estate consultants and realtors. These are very okay, and it's okay for you to dive into these opportunities. But beyond those people presenting this property to you, it is okay for you to move with strategic means of making this property instead of buying it emotionally or because of you have a relative presenting this property to you. And this is a major mistake a lot of people have made, and I have seen this in the industry. And there I am making this update to you. Beyond buying property out of emotion, you should look at buying it strategically. Where is this property located? This should be the first question that should come into your mind. What are the documents that backed up this property? Who are the developers that is behind this property? The promises I'm seeing online, can I get them in actualization? Or the deadline they give to me, can it be a reality if I must venture into this property? I think this is the main question we need to ask ourselves instead of just diving into property purchase out of emotions without making some specific verification. And with so doing, you understand that real estate is not a fashion item. It is a future we need to look into. For every decision we make today, it's supposed to come from an informed mindset, not an advertisement that we see or whatever has been projected to us out there. So I'll urge you that for you to stay away from mistake 1, instead of buying property out of emotion, you should get it strategically. Now move with me as I dive into our second mistake we make in real estate. The next mistake here is ignoring documentation and verification. Just like I mentioned in my first mistake, documentation is one of the most important things you can do or you can verify on while going on your real estate purchase. People hear names like C of O, government accession, government assets, gazette, deed of conveyance, survey plan, and all of that. This might sound technical, but it is not just the name, it is the transfer of ownership that is the most important thing you need to look out for. And that is the whole essence of documentation. So when you want to buy property, you don't look out for the documentation that comes with this property ownership. You might be getting it wrong. And so you have the right to go into this property vetting, check out the property ownership, the documentation that comes with it. Is it C of O? Is it deed of conveyance? Is it deed of assignment? Or whichever document that comes with this property. It is the most important thing you need to look out for you to be at peace when you want to make your property purchase. We all agree that buying real estate is more of peace of mind. How do you want to get this peace of mind if you don't get your documentation verification right? So I'll urge you, you should not just go into buying property without making your property verification through the documentation and every other means that this can be given to you rightly. You should look into the documentation part of it. Now, the next mistake I have here on my list is ignoring location of the property. A lot of people want to buy property just because of popularity. Yes, it's okay for you to buy when the popularity is there. But have you thought about going to a certain location when the people are not yet there? This is what smart investors do. When you want to do your property purchase, it's okay for you to go ahead of the people. Let your presence be registered there. When you're there, you know you're buying the property at the cheapest rate you can ever imagine. But if you choose to wait till the population has overcrowded the place, then be ready to break your bank to do this. We all pitch this every now and then. Land banking is the next wealth creation. Land banking means that the people are not yet there, but we want you to be there before the people. Now, if you have the foresight of property investment, then you want to go there before the people comes after you. And this is a smart move. You would want all the right investors or smart investors to take a part of when buying their property. Now, you might be wondering, how do I know if this place has potentials of people coming around? Yes, it's okay to feel that way. But have you thought about the surrounding, the developments, the infrastructures, the government presence, or the people present in this place? Is the location a place where people are coming in? Do we have good churches around this place? Do we have good schools around this place? What about the security? The people around this place, are they safe? Then when you can answer these questions rightly, then you're good to go to make your first move into a particular location. You feel the people are not yet there. Now, Ibajileki of today was once a place people feel is too far from the major Lekki in Lagos. A lot of people were running away from such places. But today, it's a sought-after location. People that bought from this location, they are at the best part of their investment. Now, let's bring us back to Port Harcourt. In Port Harcourt, we have a place that is springing up called the Banana Island at the Transmoji Road. A lot of people are venturing into buying properties in this place, while others are still looking at, because it's a developing place. They are waiting for the people to go there before them. That's a good thought, but what if you go there before the people and considering buy this property at the cheapest amount you can ever imagine? That's to say that location of the property is one of the most important things you need to look out for and not make it as a mistake. The next mistake I will also be talking about on this show is infrastructures, maybe done by the government or by the people surrounding this environment. Now, sometimes these infrastructures may not happen at the present, but there are future potentials that this thing will be happening sooner or later. If you don't have the foresight, you might be missing out. Sometimes you might not know about this, but if you have a good professional that you're working with, or you have a good real estate developer, you can go ahead to ask them, what are the development that is coming up in this environment? Does the government have interest in this location? If I come to this environment to make my investment, will my ROI turn up quicker or later? Sometimes we have long-term investment, sometimes we have short-term investment. It is in your position for you to investigate where your investment should fall into, if you want a long-term investment or you want a long-term investment. There are some locations that do not have infrastructure as soon as possible. You might be considering this place to be a long-term investment. And there are some locations as well that has infrastructure coming in as soon as possible because of the interest of government. It could be through road construction, it could be through building of schools, hospitals, or healthcare center. Now, if you have the foresight, or if you work with a real estate professional as well as the real estate developer, you can ascertain that these things can be done without you making mistakes. And the last on my list here, I have the developments and the kind of real estate agents that you work with. Sometimes real estate agents that you work with can be a light if you don't want to get it wrong. For most of us that are watching from the diaspora, sometimes you invest back home, but you do not have some relative or your presence is not here in the country for you to do your verification rightly. You rely solely on your real estate agent. Whatever he or she presents to you is what you're going to take. So it's okay for you to investigate this realtor or your real estate agent. Do they have good track record? the developer that is selling the property to do, does the person has a good track record as well? If you're able to answer these questions correctly and other investigation you need to do, then it is a good investment you need to do. To crown it all, I will title the last mistake as conducting your due diligence. If you check out from our mistake 1 down to the mistake 4 we've made so far, it all boils down to you conducting your own due diligence. Due diligence is very important when you want to buy your property, and you do not need to rely solely on your realtor or your relatives or the online posts you get to see on social media or the flashy promises of buy today, today is the end of the promo price. Also, it's okay for you to involve your own personal lawyer, your estate valuer, your surveyor, as well as all the technical team you need to vet your property. By so doing, you're playing safe, you're playing smart, and not relying on public opinion or what people need to tell you, so that you don't have anyone to blame. In as much as we want to sell the right property to you, we also expect you to come in as an individual to vet your property, do the necessary investigation, verify all the documents for you to get it right. On today's episode, I believe I've been able to share some valuable insights or costly mistakes one needs to look out for before making your property purchase and how to avoid them. If you find value in this conversation, then subscribe to our Firstlady Show. Share this content to your friends, your neighbors, or anybody that is willing to make their next property purchase, so they will know how to make their informed decision before getting their property. Welcome to the Firstlady Show. I am your host, the First Lady of Properties, where property meets insight and decision builds legacy.